Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be listening from. My spoon shines and my spoon flowers. If you're here, that means that you have met me in my favorite little corner of the internet. I'm Sunny D, RN, BSN. 20-year crony who's pretty much seen it all. Grab your broth, your Gatorade, whatever your spoons will allow. And baby, welcome to Spoon Space. Welcome back, my sweet babies. I hope that your week was absolutely fantastic and you are feeling so well. But on the chance that you're not, I do hope that this episode can bring you just a spoon or two. So let's get into it. Most people really love to shrink chronic illness down into this little box. Crohn's? Just the gut. Psoriasis? Just the skin. And arthritis? Oh, please. That's just the joints, right? But anybody living with this knows that that's literally not how it works. Because when your immune system gets confused, it doesn't just set up shop in one spot. It can spread out. And then suddenly you're juggling way more than what the textbook had ever told you. Crohn's and colitis are really the perfect example of this because they're mainly known as digestive diseases, but the inflammation doesn't stay put. Sometimes my joints have screamed louder than my gut. And that's what we call an extraintestinal manifestation, which basically means that the illness can pop up in places that it doesn't technically belong. And Crohn's isn't alone in doing that. Psoriasis can start with skin plaques, but it also can lead to psoriatic arthritis, tendon issues, and even exhaustion that just completely wipes you out. And speaking of arthritis, that rheumatoid arthritis, she sounds like stiff knuckles and knees, but it can also inflame your lungs, damage your blood vessels, and even mess with your eyes. Lupus isn't any better, y'all. It might be famous for the butterfly rash and the sensitivity to sun, but it can also attack your kidneys, your lungs, your hearts, your joints, and hear me out, y'all, even your brain. Because no matter which immune condition that you've got, three things are always gonna almost show up. That fatigue, that brain fog, and those skin issues. And we're not talking mild stuff. Fatigue, as we already know, can feel like, I don't even want to brush my teeth this morning. Brain fog, it's that kind where you lose your debit card, your keys, and forget to take your medicine all in one day within a couple of hours. And the skin issues, that can range from like small rash like eczema or something like boils, abscesses, and big bruises that you have to get lanced at the hospital. And the thing is, it all doesn't come at one time. These symptoms really like to overlap. Gut cramps, swollen joints, a rash, all in a week, while your regular symptoms are still hanging around. So it's like living with your own personal wheel of misfortune, if you will. Your regular symptoms are going on, living with the daily, while also trying to deal with the extra chaos. When you're living with Crohn's, lupus, or whatever your diagnosis, as we've said, you're not just managing that one organ. You have to manage yourself wholly. And I don't just mean physically. I mean spiritually and emotionally too. Mentally, definitely as well. And sometimes this means that you have to ration your spoons a tad bit differently. Push through a night out, and you might have to pay with some aching joints in the next morning. If you take on too much at work, your skin might flare. And that's just really the balance of yes and no, which really, really matters. Triggers aren't only about food. They're about lack of sleep, stress, environment, and as we all know, even certain people. Because once you figure that out and who and what drains your spoons the fastest, it's so much easier to protect yourself. And for me, it really comes down to three priorities. My boundaries, non-negotiable. And I really wanted to say that one last, but it's such a big one for me. I need y'all to hear me on this one. If I say that I can't, that's really the end of the conversation. Spoon card is declined. No more explanation. Movement is my medicine as well. If I just feel like maybe doing a light stretch after a shower or maybe even feeling good enough to take a hot girl walk, that's good enough for me. And sleep, baby, ask anybody. One thing about me, Sunny's gonna take a nap. All right, you already know what this means. It is time for our mini spoon break. If you're new here, a mini spoon is just a small scoop of knowledge to carry with you. Did you know that there are over 100 autoimmune diseases? And here's the wild part. They love to be besties. And that's why so many of us don't have just one diagnosis. Because once the autoimmune system learns how to go rogue, of course she becomes an overachiever. And now that we've got that cute little nugget in the back of our pockets, let's talk about how to actually work with your spoons instead of working against them. For example, remission. I love that I'm in remission. But as we've said in previous episodes, it doesn't mean that you have unlimited spoons or that your symptoms are just completely gone. It just looks like your budget looks a little bit healthier. And here are 5 ways that I keep myself from overdrafting. I rest as much as I can before a big event, so I don't already show up drained and completely empty. I split up errands or delegate them. Because remember, Instacart and Drive Up is not lazy. It's actually pretty smart. I also like to treat all travel like travel. That means that a weekend at a friend's house or a large vacation out of the country still means that I need snacks, comfy clothes, and nap time. Do I do an energy audit before I say yes? Absolutely. Because I have to make sure that what I'm doing that day is worth a couple recovery days. And if it's not a big deal. It's honestly just a polite no thank you. And the last one, I stopped chasing normal. Other people may be able to stack plans, laundry, Target, grocery store, but I know that I can't do that. And I also know that I shouldn't do that. And that's okay. And as we close, I just have a few takeaways. 1, remission is not a free pass, y'all. It's just a steadier playing field. So continue to hydrate, rest, and use all the hacks that you have in your back pocket so you don't end up paying for it later. Autoimmune diseases do not stay in their lane. So when they show up when they want and where they want and try to drain your spoons, you have to remember that you have to give yourself grace and just show up the best that you can. A lot of this is out of our control. And because it's out of our control, we sometimes have a sense of wanting to try to take control of everything. But a lot of times that's just the anxiety talking, because the real win is never pretending that you're fine. It's knowing when to push, when to pause, and when to let your spoon card decline with confidence. And that, my loves, is the scoop for today. If you want to stay connected, please follow me on Instagram at The Spoon Space. You can also subscribe on YouTube at Spoon Space, or send your questions, concerns, and anonymous stories to spoonspaceconnect@gmail.com. Most importantly, though, don't forget to save a scoop for yourself because, as I always say, you can't pour from an empty spoon. I'm Sunny D, RNBSN. Thank you for tuning in to Spoon Space, and we'll see you in the next episode.